Okay, we now welcome on somebody we're really excited to have on. Normally we say that, but this guy we're really, really excited to have on because we've been trying to get him on for some time now, and we finally got it to work out. It is Chris Gloster of PSV. Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Of course, a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
All right, so you got. Sorry, Chuck. You go ahead.
All right, so to start off, can you kind of give us a little breakdown of your career so far? Like what teams? So what are some of the teams you played on, and like where you're at right now?
So obviously in the beginning, I started at a small club in my hometown, Montclair, and then afterwards I moved. Oh, I didn't move, but then I started playing for Rebels Academy, Youth Academy in the DA for U13, U14. And then kind of after U14, I joined the residency program when it was still there. So I moved down to IMG with the national team. So I wasn't really playing for Rebels that much besides during the showcase and that kind of stuff. And then afterwards, when I turned 17, 18, I moved to Germany to play for Hanover. And then played in the Under-20 World Cup. And then after that is when I moved to Eindhoven to come play for PSV. And that's where I'm at right now.
Cool. So I'm pretty sure I played against you when Red Bulls U14 year. I'm like pretty sure copped a 0-0 tie at the Red Bulls training facility.
Really?
I'm pretty hyped about that. Yeah.
Nah, no way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So how would you compare your experiences at Red Bulls to your time in Germany and in Eindhoven?
I honestly just think I've just learned a lot more. Obviously in the DA, obviously now the DA is getting a lot bigger and much better, but back then, I think it wasn't so much more about moving guys up to the first team with the DA when I was playing. But I think here, like in Europe, where I played in Hanover and now PSV, they're really like trying to move guys up. And I think young guys up to the first team, I think that's what's really good and what's really different about over here than in the States.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, you see that now in the MLS as well, too. Like, it's kind of transitioning to where it's going to be like that, right? There's a lot of young guys that are making their debut.
And I think, especially when it wasn't so, back then when I was playing, it wasn't so, they weren't really doing that as much. But now that guys are moving over here and a lot more players are getting seen by clubs over here, it's really happening. So I think it's going to be really good for the U.S. And the exposure for all of us. So,
yeah. So you became the second youngest American, I believe, to make a USL debut when you were you just turned 17 when that happened.
Yeah. So actually, there was a whole big thing about it. So people were saying it was Andrew Carlton, who was the youngest, but then everyone realized that I'm younger than Andrew. So I was the youngest, and then that was right before I turned 17.
So did you feel like you were prepared to make that jump, or like what was going through your mind when you found out you were going to do that?
Actually, I had just gotten back from my first semester residency right before that happened, and I went to the Rebels training facility, and my academy coach told me that I had to train with USL. And then all of a sudden, after the first session, the coach at the time was John Wallinek, and he told me that we're gonna get you playing, like we're gonna get you start, and game in against Orlando. It was against Orlando, and at that moment, like I was so nervous, like I didn't think I was ready. But then I was able to play 89 minutes, and I played pretty well. So it was a good game, and it was a good experience for me, especially. After that game, I had to go back for the second semester of residency. So, it really helped to prepare me, for that second semester of residency. So I think it was good.
Mm-hmm. So who were some of the other guys you're done residency with? Like, who was your age group exactly? Like,
it was like Goslin, Carlton, Sargent, Georgia Costa, Io, Akinola, all those guys. 2000. Then we had a lot of 2001s like Brian Reynolds, Taylor Booth, Marcelo Palomino, a bunch of 2001s as well.
Yeah. So for you then, as you obviously like moved away then at a young age in the US to go down to Florida, then what was the difference between that and then moving over to Europe? Like how was that for you?
I think the good part about that was it kind of prepared me for moving overseas, even though obviously for me living in Jersey, it's only a 3-hour flight to Florida, but it prepared me to live on my own. Obviously we had very on-site coaches, like John Hackworth at the time was our coach, and the assistant coach was Sean Sisakaris. So we had a lot of on-site coaches there, but it really prepared us to make this huge step to come into Europe and to prepare us to live on our own and have us doing our own thing to potentially be professionals. So I think it transitioned us in a much easier way to get over here. So it prepared us a lot.
How important is having players like Richie Ledesma and Yul Ibanez over and Alex Mendez over in the Netherlands for you, feeling at home and not getting homesick?
It's actually a very big thing for me, especially because I'm a very family-oriented person. I have a very small circle in my family. So having those guys, especially Uli, Alex, Soto, and Richie, these guys who I'm very close with, we all try to stick together as much as possible. Obviously, we'll have to take trains to each other and stuff, or we'll play like on PlayStation or whatever, to keep in touch and to stay together and support each other. And I think that has been a very big part in helping me not feel so homesick because, they're my closest friends and I think we've just gotten closer. So, it's very cool to have them here, and we try to see each other as much as we can. Obviously, we're busy with our own schedules, but, we try to do our best. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. How often would you say you guys link up, and like, what are you guys usually doing? Are you guys just like playing video games or? Yeah.
So usually like when we can see each other, like before Corona and even like during now Corona, we'll see each other. Whenever we can coordinate our off days. So maybe one guy might have an off day before another. So one guy will come and like spend the night while the other guy's at training. So like, we have to try to do the best we can to, kind of match up our off days and everything. And then when we do hang out, like we'll go out to eat when we can, when the restaurants are open, or, we'll just kind of hang out and, catch up when we can, So you can't do much obviously now, but things we can do, we just,
yeah. Who are you? I know you're living with Richie, right? Are you living with any of the other guys?
No, so Richie moved out a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So, but he's also not far. He's like 5 minutes walk, so he's not too far. So he lived with me for a bit, and then he got his own place. So now I'm living by myself, and honestly, like I miss living with him a little bit, but then you gotta have your own space, sometimes. So it's good, but
yeah. I like having roommates, to be honest. It's like
but then sometimes you have your own little beef about small things,
Yeah, that's the funny part. Like
exactly, and then like when you're that close, like sometimes we'll fight and stuff about stupid things like who's gonna do this, like take out the trash this day or whatever, stupid stuff like that.
Exactly. I was gonna say the same thing. Like my sophomore year, I lived with these guys and would be like, we just let the trash pile up because nobody wanted to take it out. And
exactly.
Like, who's gonna take it out now? Like I took it out last time.
It's ridiculous. And then, just like who's gonna make food this day? Like it's just always some little stuff that's stupid. But now he's living on his own, and honestly, I think it's better for our as a friendship. It's better for us. So.
Are you guys cooking all your own meals like every day or every day?
Not every day. In the beginning, we get our meals from PSV, and their chef would make us meal prep for us and everything, and we'd have stuff to take home and stuff. And then when we have the time, obviously, because sometimes we're coming home late from away games and stuff like that. So when we have the time, we'll try and cook. But mostly we'd be getting our meals from PSV, which is honestly amazing because then we don't have to worry about that part. One less thing to worry about to focus. And we could focus more on football. So
yeah. What's the food like over there? Because I know people say like food in England is shit, but is the food fire?
The food here is not bad. Obviously, I miss the food in America, but it's not bad here. It takes a bit of adjusting. Especially they eat a lot of bread here, which I don't really understand. Sometimes a lot of guys on my team will just pick up a piece of bread and just walk around and eat it. And I'm like, you can just only eat that. Like, I need something with it. Like, I just can't eat it alone.
Yeah.
And they're completely like fine and they function off of that. And like, I can't just function off bread. So
yeah, that's funny. What did you prefer, the German food or the Dutch food?
I think the Dutch food because there's more variety. German food was really only like rice, pasta, and then some type of meat.
Yeah.
Dutch food is more variety, more creative, I think, and the German food was just kind of, this.
It's very basic, right?
Yeah. Very
straight
basic,
schnitzel every night.
very bland.
Yeah. I lived like I studied abroad in Germany last semester for like 6 weeks. So I was in Berlin. So like I had some good food, but
yeah, but where I was in Hanover is very limited to what we can have. So, and Hanover's not that big. So, every now and then you could find a nice restaurant if someone would, take you there or whatever. But other than that, very bland. And when I was in Hanover, I was 17, so I couldn't live alone. So I had to stay at the academy house. So whatever they cooked, whatever the cook made, I had to eat. So that was kind of rough. But.
Yeah. So how did your move from Hanover to PSV happen?
So during when I was at Hanover, my cycle had the under-20 World Cup coming up. And so we were preparing for that. And then in the World Cup, after the Nigeria game, I honestly didn't know about it until after I started seeing stuff from social media. But obviously you can't really listen to social media all the time, so I kind of ignored it. But then after the next morning, my agents called me and told me, "Oh, we have a club that wants to see you after this, so make sure you keep playing well, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay." And they were saying it's Europa League club, and so I got excited. And then when they told me it was PSV, I honestly couldn't believe it. A club like that is very good. So I was very excited. So that motivated me to keep playing in the World Cup, and we did pretty well, obviously, but except to get kicked out of the in the quarterfinals. But so then after that is when literally right after that I went home and had to go back to Hanover for preseason with the first team. This is when I was playing with Soto. So we got I think 4 or 5 days after the World Cup. And then we had to go right back to Germany. And then while I was training, the whole conversation with contracts and everything was going on with PSV. So then I had to decide between Hanover and PSV. So that's when that decision came up.
Wait, so did you say that you were seeing stuff linking you to clubs on social media before your agent ever even said anything?
Yeah, and honestly, it happens a lot. You'll see your name pop up in Twitter, and you'll be like, "Wait, what?" I had no idea. And then 2 days later, a week later, your agent will say, "Oh yeah, I saw that too," and I don't know how people find out about that. It's ridiculous how fast the news goes. Especially on social media. So
yeah,
it was.
So speaking of that, we saw something on Instagram recently about you potentially moving back to the Red Bulls. Mm-hmm. We also saw you like that picture. So if there's any validity in that potential move, or if there's anything.
I honestly have no idea about that, really. I have no idea, what's going on with that. I obviously have to speak to my agents about it because I also was surprised when I saw it. So, we have to see what's coming up next for me. But I have, hopefully, I have to talk to my agent soon during this winter break and, to figure out things. So we'll see what's going to happen in January.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to be able to travel home for winter break at all?
I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
I am stuck here for winter break. And honestly, this is the first time I will miss Christmas. So, but we have a lot of players that are missing Christmas. Alex is missing. Alex Mendez isn't going home. Sebastian Soto isn't going home. So we'll probably link up, for the Christmas time.
Yeah.
We have a week off.
Is Richie back home then to rehab, or is he still in?
Yeah, so I don't know if, I don't know. I think he's going to rehab at home for his knee for a few months. And then hopefully, he's back here and then he'll be able to, excel more with his rehab on the pitch and stuff with running and everything. Because honestly, it's very unlucky and I really hope he comes back stronger because he was doing so well. So it's just very unlucky for him. So I really hope the best for him and he can recover as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's horrible timing. He just started to break out.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but
he'll come back stronger. Yeah.
Back stronger. Well, that's good though. At least you'll have some boys still with you in Netherlands that you can link up with for Christmas.
Yeah, so it's not bad. And then, I got a puppy. So
you got a dog.
I'm not lonely. He's a French bulldog.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's 7 months now, so I've had him for a bit. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, for me too. I go to school in California, but we're from Pennsylvania, so it's never been Christmas. I couldn't go home, but Thanksgiving, I'll just stay out here.
Yeah.
The past 3 years, and it's it was weird at first because it was you always spend holidays at home, but now it's I just go to a place, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, and so I'm actually also trying to see if my mom can fly out. So PSV is talking to the embassy and the government to see if they could make an exception to get her over here. So there's just a lot of rules and a lot of protocol she has to follow to do that. So it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's OD.
It doesn't.
Has your family visited you in the Netherlands ever?
Yeah. So my mom, she's been here twice, I think. She came here a couple months after I first moved here in the summer. And then she was also here when COVID started breaking out around February for her birthday. So, and then after that, she hasn't been here since. So I got to try and get her out here, but it's going to be tough because it's a lot of rules and just so many documents she has to bring to prove that she's my mother, all that kind of stuff. It's because a lot of people try to get, their friends and stuff to get over here. But you need a declaration that this is your mother, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So
that's ridiculous.
it's insane. It's literally insane.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah.
For the first time. So
yeah, hopefully it works out for you.
I hope so. Thank you.
So for you talked about it earlier, the U20 World Cup. You guys had very solid performance there. If I remember, and you had a victory over France.
Yeah.
In the quarter or what is
round of 16?
Round of 16. Yeah. So what was it like to beat France? I feel like France is a team that has a ton of young talent. What was it like for you guys to win?
Honestly, we were so hyped after that game. We couldn't believe it. But going into that game, France was obviously going into that game thinking, okay, it's whatever. This is the US. There's no chance they could beat us. And Tab, our coach at the time, was saying this team is gonna take you guys for granted. So when you come out, try to put them in the dirt. And that's what we did. And honestly, it was a very good game. We were going back and forth. First us, then them again, then us. So it was a very exciting game, and us to come out with that big win against that team, especially that team had like Zagadou and Moussa Diaby and all these players, Cuisance and all these players, these sick players. So to get that win was honestly amazing. And then after the match in the locker room, we went insane. We were so loud. It was crazy. So it was really fun and a great experience.
Yeah, they had a good team, but I'm looking at your guys' lineup, and your guys' lineup is pretty good too here.
Yeah.
Accomplished players,
So
it's not bad.
Exactly.
But you guys got more you got more players in big clubs than they do in their lineup, it looks like. It's kind of crazy, and nobody would have expected that a couple of years ago.
Exactly. So to come out with that, and especially all my friends were so surprised that we beat that team. Especially back, they were like, "There's no way! There's no way that's gonna happen." And then we came out the win. My phone was blowing up. My friends were saying, "There's no way! How did you do it?" All that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Who did you guys lose to? Ukraine?
Ecuador. Well, we lost to Ecuador in the quarterfinals. In the first game of the group stage, we lost to Ukraine, and they ended up winning the whole thing. So they were sick. But
after you guys had lost, after the tournament was over, what was like the messages from the coaches to you guys? Because it was like a very good performance. Were they saying like you guys are the future in the national stuff?
Yeah. So after the Ecuador game, we had a big meeting, and it was kind of just reflecting on the games and how we did, and overall the coaches were just like so proud of us going into this tournament, and guys really performing and coming out of their bag and doing what they needed to do to get where we were, and they could only go up from there. So they were really, really proud of us, and they were telling us that they couldn't wait, to see us in the future and everything. So, I'm very excited for what's to come. So it was pretty cool to get that message from those coaches that we had, because that coaching staff we had was an amazing coaching staff. Tab, Dave Vandenberg, all of them. So it was a very great experience.
Yeah. So we saw online that your favorite player is David Alaba.
Mm-hmm.
Has your boy Chris Richards ever connected you with Alaba in any way?
Honestly, he didn't, and it's kind of fake from him.
That is
a little bit, to be honest.
But I've always looked up to him. But now they've been turning him more into a center back a lot. So, but I really look up to him and his style of play, and I try to implicate my style of play to his, and obviously to add my own type of style to it. But I've always looked up to him as a player and as a left back. So
as a left back, who would you say are the top 3 left backs in the world right now? Doesn't have to be in order, just any order.
Alphonso Davies, Fonzie, he's a different breed. He's a different kind of left back. Jesus. And then I'd say Alaba when he plays left back, and a third one. I would say but Marcelo isn't playing that much anymore. But I also really looked up to Marcelo, so I'd say those are my 3 best.
No love for Robertson, bro?
I'm not really a Liverpool fan, honestly. So I'd have to say no to that, but he's a very good left back, honestly. If we're doing top 5, he's 100% in my top 5.
That's fair.
I also saw too, it said that you said Michael Jordan is one of your biggest athletic inspirations. Like, he's not a soccer player, but have you taken stuff from his game or like just his personality and applied it to yours as well?
Yeah, so I know Michael Jordan was a very competitive player, and when you're competitive, that really helps elevate your game in any sport, really. And I think that's what I've tried to develop into myself, is being more competitive. Even like little games like in training, like 2-touch or like crossbar, always trying to, because those little games help you get better whether it's technically or in the gym, you try to challenge someone to, who could lift more, stuff like that. Always being more competitive really will help you in the long run. And so that's really something from him that I try to take away to this day. So, I always try to little stuff to touch, juggling, all that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah. Have you seen the, I forget the name of it, the documentary that's on
Last Dance?
Yeah.
Such a good documentary, sick documentary.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I've watched it twice already, so it's so good.
Yeah, that was that was like I came out like right when the quarantine started, so
it was perfect.
Yeah,
perfect timing.
I watched it like as it was released, like they would do too.
It was sick. I love that show. So
definitely.
All right, we kind of want to wrap up here with a couple fan questions. I don't know.
Okay.
When we first contact with you, we posted a Q&A. We got a couple of submissions from that. So
okay,
this
let's
one
see.
Comes from @Charlie24Linder. He says, "Where do you hope to be in the next 5 years of your career?"
Where do I want to be?
Yes. Where do you hope to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope to be playing in England in the Prem. That's really my goal, and that's really what I want to play in the Prem for a top team. So I'm striving for that. Hopefully in the next 5 years I could be there.
Any specific club? What's your favorite English club?
People are gonna hate this. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Oh man, that's tough.
It is tough. It's tough to be an Arsenal fan, but I stick with them. So
you might be in the championship playing for him, bro.
Nah, don't say that. Stop. Come on.
All right, this next one comes from Simone de Barber.
Simon the Barber.
This guy.
He said, "Who's your barber? Your hair always looks fresh."
Barber. That's my barber. What was his question?
He said, "Who is your barber? Your hair
always looks so fresh."
It's a little shameless plug.
You're my barber, so
yeah, a little plug there.
Him.
I thought that was hilarious.
Next one @Zharv17 says, "What's your usual diet like? And do you have dietitians that hold you accountable for what you eat, or is it pretty much on you to just follow it?"
Obviously, so our diet, my diet really, we have a diet plan in the club that we have to try, follow. But, and then we have dietitians all around that, obviously it's on us to follow the diet plan. And then obviously we have dietitians, to guide us, not really to force us to do it, but to guide us and to help us. So yes, we try to follow a strict diet plan. Obviously weekends, maybe we get a cheat day every once in a while, but.
What's your cheat day looking like?
My cheat day?
Yeah.
If it's like a Saturday and I have a day off, I'll go for dinner. They have a Five Guys right here.
Oh yeah.
So
I didn't know Five Guys was international like that.
Yeah. So I lived like right next to a Five Guys when I lived in Germany.
So Five Guys is a very big choice of mine. And then maybe for breakfast, waffles. And then I won't really eat lunch because I'll take a nap during that time. So breakfast and dinner, waffles for breakfast, and a nice juicy burger from Five Guys. So
I love Five Guys, but dude, it's so expensive. I swear they have their prices.
So expensive for the burger, bro. Oh my god! And then you have to get the fries separate. It's not like it comes with the fries.
Yeah, they got to get a combo meal thing.
It's ridiculous, but
it's kind of worth it.
Too good. It's too good.
It's worth it.
It is worth it though. It's so worth it. Oh, but that's my cheat day. That's what it's looking like.
So in New Jersey, do you ever go to like I forget the name of it, but do you get sloppy joes, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've actually never had one. All my friends eat them, but I'm not really a fan of sloppy joes, to be honest. So, but
that's like my favorite, because we live in Pennsylvania. We're very close to it, so it's like that's one of my favorites. All right, and then last question. This is actually one for me. I was I was stalking your Facebook.
Oh God!
And I
geez.
saw a
That's
picture of
freaky.
you with like a mixing table or something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
do you make beats at all or anything?
No, so that was like when I was like 8 or something, and my uncle, he actually used to DJ, and he was kind of teaching me, and it was actually like kind of cool. They kind of just got a picture of me, and I was just trying some stuff. But when I was younger, I used to play the drums, so that's kind of like a hobby of mine, I guess you could say. I try to, but I can't do it now. But when I go home, like, I try to do a lot of stuff like that. Especially my friends are always trying to, want to be rappers and stuff, So they always want to try to make beats and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. But
We're starting a music group here. We got you on the drums. We got Chris Richards on. He said he wants to start rapping. So we got a couple more.
Oh my God, I'd love to see Chris rap. Jesus.
Have you heard him rap before?
Yes, plenty of times, and I'd recommend you find another rapper to be honest.